All right. Whew. Praise y'all. Praise y'all. I tell you what, this is definitely something that I want to do for a real long time, so I'm thankful for it. Truly thankful for the opportunity. We can go ahead and get started at Romans 15:4. I tell you, for me, growing up, you know, you kind of had that aspiration, then you don't want to do it, but when the time comes, that's when it really get real. You really feel those butterflies. For me, the biggest thing is wanting to be able to model and pattern, be able to follow the pattern that was set before by my father. I know that's always a big thing for people is, you know, will you be as good as your father? Will your gift be like his? But let's talk about what my father wanted to do. Go ahead, Romans 15:4. Listen to the book.
For whatever Nika taught before,
Turn them up just a little bit more.
Nika taught kilometers. So that through endurance and through the Nakum of the Ketubim, we might have Tikva.
Cool. Read it for me one more time.
Verse 1?
Slow it down for me. Yes, sir. Read it for me. No, 15:4.
Yes, sir.
Slow it down for me just a little bit.
For whatever Nika taught before, Nika taught kilometers.
Everything that came before that was written was for us to be able to see and demonstrate the pattern that was set before by the Abba. Keep going.
So that through endurance
That way we can go through and we won't quit. Let's go.
and through the Nakum
That's how we're going to get our consolation. Come on.
of the Ketubim, we might have Tikva.
That's how we're going to hold on and keep going. Pick me up at Ra Shyth chapter 1 and 1. This is my first time. Might as well start at the beginning.
So,
All right. Not there. Don't worry. Next time, y'all will flip the board over, start over. Listen to the book.
Ra Shyth, Elohim, Bara the Shamayim and the Arats.
In the beginning, Elohim created the Shamayim and the Arats.
And the Arats was without form and void.
There was nothing there. There was no works that were there. Everything that was going to be put in place and that you were going to see had to come from the Abba.
And Kashak was over the surface of the
And it can't hear
deep.
on that side. Almost again.
And the Ruach of Elohim was moving over the surface of the Ma'im.
The Ruach of Elohim moved over the Pani of the Ma'im. Mm-hmm.
Then Elohim said,
What did he say?
Let there be Aur.
And what was it?
And there was Aur.
Come on.
And Elohim saw that the Aur
And what did he say?
was
And what did he say
two.
about it?
And Elohim badal between the Aur and the Kashak.
What did he say about the hour?
And Elohim saw that the Aur was two.
Okay.
And Elohim separated between the Aur and the Kashak.
He came in to set up a difference between the Aur and the Kashak. The Aur was two. I like that. I saw the Aur. I like that. I like what I created. Come on.
And Elohim Yakra the Aur Yum, and the Kashak he Yakra Hikara Layla.
Mm-hmm.
And there was evening and there was morning,
And what
one
was that?
Yum.
One Yum. Let's keep reading. Let's see what happened day 2.
Then Elohim said,
What did he say?
let there be an expanse in the midst of the Ma'im,
Mm-hmm.
and let it separate between the Ma'im and the Ma'im.
All right. Let it come into Badal. Create a separation. Let it be a difference between the two. Come on.
And Elohim made the expanse, and Badal between the Ma'im which were below the expanse, and between the Ma'im which were above the expanse. And it was so.
That's right. So there was Ma'im above and there was Ma'im below.
And Elohim Yakra the expanse, Shamayim.
Mm-hmm.
And there was evening and there was morning, a second Yum.
Second Yum. Aki Chris, hold me Ra Shyth 2 on 1. Keep going, Lee.
Then Elohim said, let the Ma'im below the Shamayim be gathered into one Malkum,
Bring it all together. One place.
and let the dry Arats appear.
And what happened?
And it was so.
It was so, but just like he said it. The Abba said it and it came to pass. Come on.
and Elohim Yakra, the dry arise, the dry Adumah arise.
That's right.
And the gathering of the Ma'im, Ikara, Yam, and Elohim saw that it was two.
You won't believe it. Guess what he did? He came in and he gave it a name. They were just things that were there, but without the Abba giving it a name, giving it a purpose, telling you what it was not. It's just something. It's just like the manna. They called it manna because they didn't know what to call it. So even manna itself means what? I was asking a question, but it means what?
That's right.
Okay, come on.
Then Elohim said, let the Arats sprout vegetation,
We got to scroll.
plants yielding seed, and pari arts on the Arats, bearing pari after their kind, whichever seed in them, and it was so.
Read that one more time for me, Big Lee.
Yes, sir. Then Elohim said, let the Arats sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit arts on the Arats bearing pari after their kind, whichever seed in them, and it was so.
So that means when I planted the apple tree can only bring forth what?
Apple.
Apples. And the trees that come behind it can only be what?
Apple.
Apple trees. All right, let's keep going.
And the Arats brought forth vegetation, plants. Am I reading the same thing?
No, we're right. No, we had 12.
And the Arats brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed after their kind, and ox bearing pari, whichever seed is in them after their kind.
That's right. So what would have come out of it would only been what was in it. Come on, let's keep reading.
And Elohim saw that it was two,
It was two.
and
It
there
was good.
and there was evening, and there was morning, a third yom.
All right, we had 3 days. Now let's keep reading. Let's see what happened.
Then
Let's see if we can
Elohim
make a week.
Then Elohim said, let there be a ur in the expanse of the Shamayim to divide between the Yum and the Layla,
And let it be for what?
and let them be for Ad
And for what else?
for seasons,
And what else?
and for Yamin
And what else?
and Shanim.
All right. Now we're giving more things purpose. Things came to be. Now I'm giving them purpose. These are reasons for why I have these things in place. Come on.
And let them be for Ur in the expanse of the Shamayim to give Ur on the Arats. And it was so.
And it was so.
And Elohim made the two great Ur, the greater Ur to govern the Yum, and the lesser Ur to govern the Layla and the Kukabim. And Elohim placed them in the expanse of the Shamayim to give Ur on the Arats, and to govern over the Yum and over the Layla, and to badal between the Ur and the Kashak. And Elohim saw that it was two.
So Elohim gave the things that he created, he gave them an authority. He gave them a power to be put over the things that were the works of his hand. Okay, come on.
And there was evening, and there was morning, a fourth Yom.
Fourth Yom.
Then Elohim said,
What did he say?
let the Ma'im team with swarmers having a nafash of Kai,
Now we're starting to put things, well, now he's starting to put things into the Ma'im.
and let birds fly above the Arats in the open expanse of the Shamayim. And Elohim bara the great Yam monsters and all that creeps having a Kai nafash, with which the Ma'im swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. And Elohim saw that it was two.
He saw it was two. Come on.
And Elohim barak them, saying,
What did he say?
be pari and multiply, and fill the Ma'im in the Yom, and let the birds multiply on the Arats. And there was evening, and there was morning, a fifth Yom.
Do me a favor, go back and read verse 21.
Yes, sir. And Elohim bara the great Yom monsters,
It'll say monsters, but it's not talking about these scary things that come to your mind when you say monsters. Just the creations, the things he created, the creatures.
and all that creeps having a Kai nafash, with which the Ma'im swarmed after their kind,
After their kind,
and every winged bird after its kind.
after its kind.
And Elohim saw that it was two.
It was what?
Two.
It was what?
Two.
Crowd participation. It was what?
Two.
Two. There we go. Come on, let's keep reading.
And Elohim barak them, saying, be pari and multiply, and fill the Ma'im in the Yom, and let the birds multiply on the Arats.
It said to be pari and to do what?
And multiply.
Be pari and do what?
Multiply.
So that means that if he made those creatures and they were two, then what were going to be the things that came out of them? that proceeded from him. They were going to be two, just like the ox of the tree. When that first ox that he made, it was two. What was going to be the one that came after it? It had to be, because that set a principle. Come on, let's keep reading. Not I, but he set a principle.
Yes,
Come on,
sir.
keep reading.
And fill the ma'im and the yom, and let the birds multiply on the arise. And there was evening, and there was morning, a fifth yom.
Fifth yom.
Then Elohim said, let the arise bring forth the nephash of Kai according to their kind.
Yes, sir.
Cattle and creeping things and beasts of the arise after their kind.
Just after their kind. Just like the first one. Let everyone that come after them be just like the one before it. Come on.
And it was so.
And it was so.
And Elohim made the beasts of the arise after their kind, and the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing on the Adamah after its kind. And Elohim saw that it was two.
It was what, Lee?
Two.
It was two. Come on.
Then Elohim said,
What'd he say?
let us make Adam in our image, according to our likeness, and let them char over the fish of the yam, and over the birds of the Shamaim, and over the cattle, and over all the arise, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the arise. And Elohim bara Adam in his own image. In the image of Elohim, he bara him, male and female, he bara them.
That's right.
And Elohim barak them, and Elohim said to them, be pari and multiply, and fill the arise and subdue it, and char over the fish of the yam, and over the birds of the sky, and over every kai thing that moves on the arise. Then Elohim said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the pani of all the arise,
I gave you everything that is upon the pani of the arise.
and every ox which has pari yielding seed, it shall be for food for you.
So Elohim, the Abba, told Adam, see all these things that I've made, that I bara, I'm going to give them to you. These going to be for you. Come on.
And to every beast of the arise, and to every bird of the Shamaim, and to every creeping thing on the arise, which has kai nephash, every green herb is for food, and it was so.
And it was so, but just like you said it. Come on.
And Elohim saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very two.
Everything he made was what?
Very two.
Very two.
And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth yom.
So if everything that I made was two, and what we saw when he told Adam and Kaur, he said, I want you to be fruitful and multiply. Just like the ox of the gun, everything was supposed to be two, and then resprout things that would continue on to be two. So how do we get to the point where we get off? How do we get off as a people, as mankind, as Adam? How do we deviate from that pattern of being two? Come on, pick up at verse 2. Chapter 2, excuse me. Come on.
Thus the Shamaim and the Arats were completed,
It was Tamim. He completed it.
and all their Saboth. By the seventh Yom, Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh Yom from all his work which he had done.
All right. Read that for me one more time at verse 2.
Yes, sir. By the seventh Yom, Elohim completed his work which he
Completed
had
his
done.
work. His work that he began to make, that he started off. It was nothing there, but he put forth two works. He made it Tamim. It was complete. Tamim just simply means completed, complete, to fulfill the mission that we're set to do. Come on, let's keep reading.
And he rested on the seventh Yom from all his work which he had done.
So after he finished with the Tamim works, what was it that he got?
He rested on the seventh Yom from all his work which he had done. Then Elohim barak the seventh Yom and kodash it, because in it he rested from all his work
It was
which
something
Elohim
special.
had created and made.
It was something special to him. This is something special. I did a lot of work. All this work, I got to get some rest. Come on, keep reading.
This is the account of the Shamaim and the Arats when they were created in the Yom that Yahuwah Elohim made Arats and Shamaim.
That's right. One thing that we can kind of see naturally is when a person comes behind another person, it's kind of hard to follow a pattern if you don't have something that's set. If you don't have something where somebody can tell you, okay, this is how I did this. This is how I did this. This is how I did this. Take these steps, then take this step. Take this step, then take this step. So it leads you to your own imagination to try to fathom and try to come up with, okay, well, how do I become Tamim? How do I become like the Abba? How do I manifest the two works of the Abba? Come on, Chris, let's keep reading. But this right here, he gave us an account. This is an account. I'm telling you exactly how I did what I did. Come on.
Now every shrub of the field before it was in the arats, and the plant of the field before it sprouted, for Yahuwah Elohim had not shalak rain upon the arats, and there was no ish to cultivate the adumah.
So even though the things that I made were tube, I still wanted to put somebody over it to keep it tube. Because without somebody to govern it and keep it, it'll grow out of control. And it'll become, from the word cultivated, just means that it's kept. It's kept. That's what he wanted us to be, kept. The gun was kept, so he put a dam over the gun to keep the gun. Just like we have Ra'ah and Sharwath over us to keep the gun. Come on, let's keep reading.
But a mist went up from the arats and Ma'im the whole pani of the adumah.
He watered it.
Then Yahuwah Elohim formed a dome of dust from the adumah and breathed into his nostrils the breath of Kai, and Adam became a Kai Nafash.
So the Abba took what was in him to give it to the Ben. That way the Ben could take on life.
Yahuwah Elohim planted a gun toward the Kadim in Adon, and there he placed Adam whom he had formed.
I put my Ben over the works of my hand.
Out of the Adumah, Yahuwah Elohim caused to grow every ox that is pleasing to the and tube for food.
So
The ox of
go ahead.
the ox of Kai also in the midst of the gun, and the ox of Da'ath and tube and Rosha.
So everything that was in the, we can go back up. Everything that was in the gun was tube. Everything that I grew and that I caused to be was pleasing to the sight. Pleasing to the sight of who? Pleasing to the sight of him. It was tube to him. That's the whole purpose of it. It's not about us pleasing ourselves, but pleasing the Abba. Come on, let's keep reading.
Now a Nahar flowed out from Adon to Ma'im the gun,
The
and from
river.
there it divided and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pasan. It flows around the whole arats of Kailah, where there is gold.
Where it's gold.
The gold of that arats is tube,
It was tube.
Bdelem, and the onyx stone are there. The Shem of the second river is Kasan. It flows around the whole arats of Cush. The Shem of the third river is Tigris. It flows east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. Then Yahuwah Elohim took Adam and put him into the gun of Edom, and to cultivate it and to keep it. Yahuwah Elohim Amar Adam saying, from the ox of the gun you may freely eat. You may eat freely.
I'm giving you access to the things that I'm putting you over. I'm giving you access.
But from the ox of Da'ath and Tub and Rosha you shall not eat from it. For in the yum that you eat from it you shall surely move.
As far as what we have that we can see, all he had to do was just not to eat of the ox of Tub and Rasha.
Then Yahuwah Elohim said, it is not Tub for Adam to be alone.
It's not too for him to be alone.
I shall make a helper suited for him.
Suitable.
Out of the Adumah, Yahuwah Elohim formed every beast of the field and every bird of Shamayim, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called it a living Nephash, that was its Shem.
Whatever he did, what?
Whatever Adam called it a living Nephash, that was its Shem.
Whatever he called it, that's what it was.
Adam gave Shem to all the cattle and to all the birds of Shamayim and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper suitable for him.
He had nobody suitable for him. No woman suitable for him.
So Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept.
He slept.
Then he took one of his ribs and closed up the basar underneath. Yahuwah Elohim fashioned into an ashah the rib which he had taken from Adam and brought her to Adam.
To do what?
Then Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and basar of my basar, for this shall be Kara, Ashah, because she was taken out of out of Adam, out of Ish.
So basically, just like the ox of the pari, just like the ox of the gun, just like when the ox that came out of it were two, what we could safely say that Korah would have had to be what?
Two.
She'd have had to be two. Come on, let's keep going.
Therefore, an Ish shall leave his father and his aim and be joined to his Ashah, and they shall become into one basar.
One basar.
And Adam and his Ashah were both naked and were not ashamed.
They were what?
They were naked and were not ashamed.
One more time for those at home.
Were both naked and were not ashamed.
They were naked, but they were not ashamed.
That's right.
Do this, pick me up at, get me 3-on-1. One thing, like preacher tell people, he'll say, a lot of times what you do in the gym, it'll kind of radiate and show what you do out there. I had this really bad habit of, we go in the gym, we kick it off. We coming in cold. I'm putting it on 9. I got it on 9 on the speed. And preacher always say what? You're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
You put that thing on like that, you're gonna hurt yourself. So it might seem slow, but there is a purpose. I could go fast, but I might hurt myself. So I'm gonna go slow instead. Here we go, 3-on-1, pick me up. Blame, if you get tired because it's too slow, blame preacher. Because we can run now, but we'll go slow. Come on, 3-on-1.
Now the Nakash was more crafty than any beast of the field, which Yahuwah Elohim had made.
More crafty than any of the rest of them.
And he said to the Ashah,
What did he say to her?
Indeed, has Elohim said, you shall not eat from any ox of the gun.
He said you shouldn't eat from any ox of the gun?
The Ashah said to the Nakash,
What'd she say?
from the pari of the ox of the gun we may eat. But from the pari of the ox which is in the middle of the gun, Elohim has said, you shall not eat from it nor touch it, lest you shall move.
I believe in the King James Version, that verse 2, it'll say when she goes to tell the serpent, she tells him that we could freely eat. Elohim said we could freely eat of these things, but the one that's in the midst of the gun, the one of Tub and Rasha, that's the one we can't eat. We have no access to that one. That one wasn't given to us at Abba. So we go and take this is going to be something of our own. Come on, let's keep reading.
The Nakash said to the Ashah,
What did he say?
you surely shall not move.
You going to surely die? Dead? Come on.
For Elohim yada that in the yum you eat from it, your shall be open, and you shall be like Elohim, knowing Tub and Rosha.
So even though man was formed, there was still something missing. You may be formed and made in the image of Elohim, but you're not just like him. You're not exactly like him. You don't have everything that he has. Come on.
When the Ashah saw that the ox was tube for food,
Tube for food.
and that it was a delight to the
Delight to the eyes.
and that the ox was desirable to make one kakma,
To make one wise. So it's something else I can get. It's something else I can benefit if I eat this.
she took from its pari and ate. And she gave also to her husband with her, and he ate.
And he ate.
Then the of both of them were open,
Both of them had their eyes open. 'Cause we both ate.
and they knew that they were naked.
They knew they were what?
Naked.
They knew they were what?
Naked.
So they didn't know they were naked before, but now they know they're naked. Okay, let's keep reading.
And they sewed leaves of fig ox together and made for themselves loin coverings. They shama the call of Yahuwah Elohim halak in the gun in the cool of the yum. And Adam and his Ashah hid themselves from the pani of Yahuwah Elohim in the middle of the ox of the gun.
You hold right there. One thing that we can kind of naturally see is kind of when you, as a kid growing up, when you're doing certain stuff and then daddy come, what you do? It's time to run.
Yeah.
Daddy coming, he gonna know. We all gonna be in trouble. You ain't gonna believe it. Just like right here, they heard it. They heard him coming. They heard the voice of Yahuwah Elohim walking, halakking in the gun, in the cool of the yum. So what is time to do? It's time to run.
Yeah.
Read it for me one more time at verse 8.
Yes, sir. They shama the call of Yahuwah Elohim halak in the gun
They heard him walking.
in the cool of the yum. And Adam and his Ashah hid themselves from the pani of Yahuwah Elohim in the middle of the ox of the gun.
Time to hide.
Then Yahuwah Elohim yakra to Adam and said to him, where are you?
Where are you? Adam, where are you? Come on.
He said, I shama your call in the gun, and I was Yara because I was naked.
I
So-
heard you coming, Daddy. I had to run. I heard you coming, Daddy. I had to get out of there, Daddy. Because what I've been doing ain't tube. You made me tube, Daddy. You made me just like everything else you made in the gun, but I done something that ain't tube. I done deviated from the proper course of behavior that you set forth and gave me. So what it's time to do? It's time to run. Come on.
So I hid myself.
I hid myself.
And he said, who
What'd he
told you that you were naked?
I made you naked. So who told you were naked? Because as far as you know, what is naked? What's wrong with you, where you are?
Yeah.
I made you that way. Come on.
From the odds of which I amar you not to eat from it, have you eaten?
Have you eaten it? Because the only way you could be deviating from how I made you is if you went ahead and did something different. Because I know what I told you to do. But come on.
Adam said,
What'd he say?
the Ashah whom you gave to be with me, she gave to me from the odds, and I ate.
I ate it, Daddy, but really, the woman you gave to me, she the one gave it to me. Okay. Come on, let's see what happened. Let's see that help you escape.
Then Yahuwah Elohim said to the Ashah,
What'd he say?
what is this you have done?
What have you done, woman?
And the Ashah said, the Nakash deceived me, and I ate.
You won't believe it. The serpent, he tricked me. And that's how I ate it. He tricked me. He said it's going to make me wise. Come on.
And Yahuwah Elohim said to the Nakash, because you have done this, all are you more than all cattle, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the yamim of your Kai.
Everybody getting cursed. Come on.
And I shall put enmity between you and the Ashah,
I'm going to put a mutual hatred between you and the Ishah,
and between your seed and her seed.
between the serpents that's going to come behind and the benin that's going to come behind the woman.
He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel.
He should bruise your head, and you should bruise his heel. So what we're doing in Ra Shyth, he's constantly setting a principle. When he's establishing something, these things are continuously going. Come on.
To the Ashah he said, I shall greatly multiply your pain in childbirth.
Greatly multiplied.
In pain you shall bring forth benin, yet your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall shar over you.
He going to rule over you. This part of her punishment. You're going to bring forth children in pain, and your desire going to be your husband, and he going to rule over you. Come on.
Then to Adam he said, because you have shama to the call of your Ashah,
Because you listen to her,
and have eaten from the ox about which I amar you, saying,
and you didn't listen to me. Come on.
you shall not eat from it.
Because I know I told you, you shall not eat from it.
All is the Adamah because of you.
Cursed is the ground for you.
In toil you shall eat of it all the yamim of your Kai. And thorns and thistles shall
Thorns
grow
and
for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your pani you shall eat lakam till you return to the Adamah. Because from it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Now Adam called Yakra the shem of his Ashah Kaua, because she was the aim of all the Kai.
She was the aim of all Kai.
Yahuwah Elohim made garments of skin for Adam and his Ashah, and clothed them.
Yahuwah gave him a covering for him and his Ashah.
Then Yahuwah Elohim said,
What'd he say?
behold, Adam has become like one of us, knowing Tub and Rosha.
So mankind was already made in the image of Elohim, but now because you eaten and you had the knowledge, now you become even more like me. Now you're taking on another part of me.
And now, lest he might stretch out his hand, and take also from the ox of Kai and eat, and Kai alone. And therefore Yahuwah Elohim shalak him out from the gun of Adon to cultivate the Adamah from there which he was taken. So he drove Adam out, and at the Kadim of the gun of Adon, he stationed the cherubim and the flaming sword, whirling around to guard the Darak to the ox of Kai.
Whirling it around. You can't get in. I done kicked you out, son. You can't get back in. You done did something I told you not to do. You can't get in, son. You can't get back in. I got a cherubim, a malaki, sitting. You're not getting back in because you done deviated from what I told you. You know why you can't get back in here? Because you done did Rasha. And what was everything that he made in the gun?
Two.
It was tube. So there's no way that something that was Rasha could stay inside the gun. Give me Abarym chapter 3 and 1. Listen.
Therefore, Kodash Akim,
Kodash Akim.
partakers of the calling of the Shamayim, consider the Shalach and Rosh Kahan of our confession to the Mashiach Yeshua,
Let's consider Yahusha.
who was Amunah to him who appointed him, as Mushah was in all his beth,
He was what?
who was Amunah to him who appointed him.
He was consistent to what Yahuwah had put him over. Adam was inconsistent, but let's consider this son, my good son. He was faithful, or Amunah, and what Yahuwah had appointed him over. Just as.
Mushah, who was in all his beth.
He didn't say Adam. He couldn't call his name. Don't be like your brother.
For he has been counted worthy of more kabul than Mushah,
Even more kabod than Mushah.
just as the one having built the beth has more kabod than the kabod of the beth. For every beth is built by someone, but he who built all things is Elohim.
And one thing for sure, we took long enough time to read it. We know he built it all, didn't he? Come on.
And Mushah indeed was Amunah in all his beth as an abad, for a testimony of the things which shall be spoken. But he is the Mashiach of a being over his beth,
As a ben.
and we are his beth, and only if we hold fast the boldness and the boasting of the tikva, and not firm unto the end.
So if we hold on and we hold fast, then we can be just like that gun, and we can be Tamim, and the Mashiach could be the ben that's over us, keeping us and cultivating us. Come on. I
Therefore,
appreciate it. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. I got one. I got one. Come on.
therefore, just as the Ruach HaKodesh says,
What did it say?
today, if you shama to his call,
If you shama,
do not harden your lob as in the rebellion,
don't harden your law. Do what I'm telling you to do. Come on.
as in the yum of testing in Bamidbar.
In the Bamidbar. Anybody know what Bamidbar means? In the wilderness. Anybody know what the wilderness is? Woods. Let's look up wilderness. That's okay. When you did that for me earlier, that makes up for this. All this is done away. Please be patient with Dwight. Yah is not through with him yet. It's all right. It's okay. One thing for sure, when we talked about the people that Elohim sets over and being able to pattern certain things, when your teacher can't spell certain things, those students that he's teaching, they're not gonna be able to spell either. We got to watch the teachers. Come on. Wilderness, uncultivated, uninhabited, and inhospitable. These are the uncultivated. This is the wilderness. These things have not been properly taken care of. These things have not been built up to a certain point, just like the gun would have been. But now you're outside of the gun. You in the Bamidbar. You in the uncultivated lands. Come on.
When your both tried me by testing me, and also saw my works for 40 yamim,
40 shanim.
shanim.
Shana, but plural shanim.
Therefore, I was angry with that generation and said, they are with the heartbeat, and they did not know my ways, my Darkim.
They're with their heartbeat. They go after the desires of their lob. They're following their lob. Ka'ul, when she saw it, she said this was tube to her. Elohim didn't tell her that was tube for her to eat, but when she saw it, she said, pleasant to the eye, one to be desired, to eat, to make me wise. Let's keep reading.
As I Shabbat in my wrath, they shall not enter into my rest.
You're not going to enter into my rest.
Now see my Akim, lest there be in any one of you a Rosh Hashanah,
A Rosh Hashanah.
and lacking of belief in departing from the Ka'id Elohim.
Lacking belief. What was it that she told the serpent that Elohim told her was going to happen if she ate it? She was going to surely move. So what would have made, how would she allow herself to be deceived if I know what he told me? I know he told me if I eat of it, I'm going to move, right? So how do I get to the point where I'm lacking belief, being that I heard exactly what he told me? I know what it was he said to do. But what happened? Read it again at verse 12.
Now see, my Akim, lest there be in any one of you a Roshalab and lacking of Amunah in departing from the Ka'id Elohim.
Just like with Kaur, for her to go on and do something opposite of what Elohim said, the same thing goes for us. When we go and we do things that are against what it is that Elohim proclaimed for us to do and profess for us to do, that's a Roshalab. Your Lord Rosha. You done departed from the belief. Because you can't believe and do these things that are opposite of what Elohim said. Because he the Ka'id Elohim, the Elohim of the Ka'id. Come on, let's keep reading. Verse 13.
It has only been encouraged one another all Yamim while it is called Yum, for the sake of which none of you shall harden his lob by the deceitfulness of Kata.
When you go and commit Kata, you done harden your lob. That'll harden your lob. Come on.
For we have become partakers of the Mashiach, only if we hold fast the beginning of our assurance and not firm until the end.
Only if we hold fast and endure to the end. Anybody can tell me what you can grow on hard land? Anybody? Anybody can guess what you can grow on hard land? Nothing. It's not good for nothing. So it made no sense for him to keep putting it to you if your lob is hardened, because guess what? Can't nothing come from it. Everything that I put and I established, I wanted it to keep growing and regenerating. But when your lob done turn hard, can't nothing grow in you. Can't nothing grow in you. You ain't good for nothing. Come on, let's keep reading.
While it is said, today, if you shama to his call,
Shama to his call.
do not harden your lob.
Don't harden your lob. When
as in the rebellion.
When the word comes, don't harden your lob. Come on.
For who are they had shama and rebelled? Was it not all who came out of Mizraim by the yard of Mushah?
What was it that they went to when they left Mizraim? That was called the Bamar, the uncultivated lands. Just like Adam, when he Kata, where did he go? To the Bamar. Let's keep reading.
And with whom was he angry for 40 shanim?
He was angry with those people. They were trying to get to a place where they could have their own tube land. In that sense, they were going to have their own Malkuth. Come on.
Was it not with those who Kata, whose carcasses fell in Bamidbar?
Their carcasses fell into Bamidbar. You won't believe it. When Adam got cast out, he couldn't get back into the gun. So when he would have moved, you'd have had to fall into the Bamidbar, because everything that was tube was the cultivated land was in the gun. So when you're out of the gun, you're in the uncultivated land. He told him to go uncultivated, but you were in the place of uncultivation. Keep reading.
And to whom did he Shabbat that they would not enter into his rest, but to those who were disobedient?
Anybody, y'all remember what happened in Ra Shyth chapter 2 and verse 1? It'll talk about Elohim, what he did after he did his work. He got a rest. He got a rest. That's what we all trying to labor for. We're trying to do two works so we can get into that place of rest. Come on.
So we see that they were not able to enter because of unbelief.
Adam was kicked out of the gun. He was there. He was in the place of cultivation. He was in that place of rest. Because outside, he told him it was going to be with toil. You're going to be at toil. It's going to work by the sweat of your brow. But we're trying to get into that place. We ain't even got to the point of being kicked out of it. We're trying to get into it first and then maintain it. Lee, get me 4 and 1, Abarym. Because we want to see where that rest is.
Yes, sir.
Listen.
Therefore,
since
a Shabbat still remains of entering into his rest,
I promise this to you. You can put your money on this one. Ain't nobody can stop this one. Come on, there's a rest.
please let us Yara, lest any of you shall see his times being delayed.
let us, Yara, lest any one of us should see our time being delayed. That's us missing. We're missing the mark. Just like you go to a race and they set a time, well, you don't hit that expected time, or we did the pacer test back in elementary school. Y'all remember the pacer test? They be like, all right, we're gonna start level 1. Doop. You gotta get to the line before before the next beep goes. Doop, doop. But guess what? You're doing good. Doop, 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 doop. As you keep going, those tests get a little bit more. You get a little bit more tests, and that's some of us, we see, you start to miss that mark. You start to miss the pace that's set. Come on, let's keep reading.
For indeed the two news came to us as it came unto them.
It came to us just like it came to them.
But the debar was not useful to them which they shama in the Pani that did not have been united with Amunah in those who shama it.
So what we can see is, read it one more time, a little bit slowly. That way I want to make sure they can hear it.
For indeed the two news came to us.
The good seed came to us.
As it came unto them.
Just like it came to them.
But the debar was not useful to them, which they shama in the presence that did not have been united with Amunah in those who shama it.
The tube seed came to them, but that good seed was not useful to them, that they heard in his presence, because it wasn't united with Amunah. That's that hardened ground. When that debar comes, it's no good if your lob is hardened. What's the value in it? Because just like we said, what can you grow in a hard land? What can you who would get out of your hard and stony lob? Nothing. It's good for nothing. Come on, let's keep reading.
For we who have Aman enter into rest, just as that he has said, as I shaba in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although his works have come into being from the foundation of the Olam.
We who are man and have that soft lob, we can enter into that rest. Come on.
For he has spoke the Katab on the 7th Yom.
On that Shabbat Yom.
And he rested on the Shabbat Yom from all his works.
Once again, we read it. We know that happened. He rested on the Shabbat Yom and he was refreshed. Come on.
And he said,
what did he say?
In this again, if they shall enter into my rest. And since that there was still room to enter into it.
It's still space.
And they to whom it was first preached enter not in there because of disobedience.
But those who heard it, they didn't enter because they were disobedient. So they couldn't make it into my rest. Because they heard the word, but it wasn't mixed with their Amunah. They had their hard and stony lob, so they couldn't go into the gun because everything that was in the gun was it was perfect. That's why we kept reading it. Everything he made, it was a pattern. He kept saying it. He made this, and it was tube. He made the aur, and it was tube. He made the plants, and it was tube. He made the animals, and it was tube. What did he do when he made you? Where we at? Come on.
Therefore, this Yom he continued to set the end of many Yamim. This Yom, in his saying through Daud, as that it has been said, this Yom, if you shama to his call,
this Yom.
Do not harden your law.
Don't harden your law. Soften your law. Become that tube out of my.
Or if Yahushua had given them rest, he would not have spoken about another Yom after that.
What he's talking about right now, more specifically, more directly, he's talking about the land that the Yasharal was trying to get into, that Malkut that they were trying to get into. That wasn't a Malkut that was going to last forever. The gun that we're trying to get into is going to last a long. It's going to be no end to that gun. Come on.
Therefore, there remains another Shabbat rest for the arm of Elohim.
That's going to be a true rest for us. Only if you the Benima Elohim. Only if you pattern and following the steps that was set in place by the Abba. You're going to have to mimic and be just like the Abba. You're going to have to be Tamim just like the Abba to get into the Abba's Tamim land. Come on.
For he that is entered into his rest, he also is the Adon of the Shabbat from his own works. As Elohim did from his own.
When it's saying that he's the Adon, he's mastered the rest from his own works. I've mastered stopping yielding to the desires of my flesh. When Kaul saw the ots, these were things that naturally she desired. There was no Ruachni benefit that she was going to get. The knowledge that she was going to get was just a natural knowledge. It wasn't going to lead to Alam Kai. The ots of Kai was in there, but she didn't want that one. That's not the ots she desired. She desired the ots of Tub and Rasha. That ox was the one that was going to lead to Mu. But I had an ox that was for the Kai.
Right.
Come on.
Please let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest,
Let us labor to enter into Yahuwah's rest.
so that any each shall not fall and be the same example of unbelief.
So let's not be like our big brother and big sister, but let's do what daddy says. Come on.
For the debar of Elohim is Kai,
It's quick.
and he acts effective,
It acts effective. It has a purpose, and it fulfills its purpose.
and is sharper than any double-edged sword,
Sharper.
and piercing through even to differentiate between the nephesh and the ruach, and between the joints and the marrow, and able to shafit the thoughts and schemes of the law.
The debar is able to go in and to be able to search out what your true intent and true purpose is of your law. Come on.
And there is no hidden creature from his own, but all things are naked and laid bare before the own of the possessor with whom we are to give account.
One more time, Big Lee.
And there is no hidden creature from his own, but all things are naked and laid bare before the own of the possessor with whom we are to give account.
So nothing that is living can be hidden, but everything is open and naked before him. What was it that Adam and Kaur went to try to do when they had Qatar? They tried to cover themselves up. They tried to hide. But guess what? When you try to go and you try to hide, when we try to hide, he still sees us.
Yeah.
He still sees us because it's not about the exterior factor. What we're talking about right here, we're talking about the negative. It's not necessarily talking about, I'm trying to see your private parts. I'm trying to see the lob. I'm trying to see the lobby. I'm trying to see those things that you try to go and you try to hide and you try to cover up, that we all try to hide and cover up. We try to hide them and cover them up with us coming in, with us with the akut covering their heads, with not doing certain things. But just like it says in the book of Olive Barnab, I think 2-1 or 3-1, it talk about it not being the outward adorning, but being the hidden man of the law. That's what it's going to come down to. I'm not looking for what it is that you're putting on the outside, per se. I'm looking for what's inside, because what's on the inside is going to manifest and show what's on the outside. Just like those ox, when the tube was in them, the only thing that could proceed out of them was tube. There was no way Rosha could come out of something that was tube unless it goes off and deviates from that proper course that I've already preset and established. Come on.
And now,
That's two. Come on. Dave, you with me? You with me, Dave? Come on.
and now that we have a very exalted Rosh Kohan who has passed through the Shamayim, Yahushua, the Ben of Elohim, let us hold in the confession of our Amunah.
So we got a new big brother. This one right here, he real special. He real special. Because what the Abba told him to do, he did it. And guess what he did? He was able to enter in to that Malkuth. He was able to enter into that place of rest that we all trying to go. So we got to make sure that we follow the works of Yahusha and not the works of Adam, because both profess to be the Benim of Elohim, but only one bear forth tube ox throughout the whole fulfillment of his Kai. Come on.
Or we do not have a Rosh Kohan who is not able to sympathize with our weaknesses.
I know how it gets. It gets hard. It gets hard. It's challenging. Things try to come at me. Tests try to come.
But one who was tried in all respects as we are, yet without kata.
I was tried. He was tried just like we all get tried. He was tried in all respects, in every aspect. It's not an aspect of your life that you could think of, or an area as a living being that you could think of where he wasn't tested. But guess what? He passed the test. I fulfilled what it was that the Abba wanted me to fulfill. Come on. And I didn't kata, without kata.
Therefore, let us draw near with confidence in the
Do this. Go back. Read that 15 one more time.
Yes, sir. For we do not have a Rosh Kohan who is not able to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who was tried in all respects as we are, yet without kata.
Yet without kata. Do me a favor. Pick me up at Abarym 2:11. Other brother picked me up at Romans 13:12. Let's get some fashion advice. We'll go to that 13:12 first. Listen,
The Layla passed,
the night is far spent,
and the Yom is near.
the Yom is near.
Therefore, please let us put off the works of Kashat and put on the armor weapons of Aur. As halak in the Aur of the Yom, we halak modestly,
Modestly.
not in carousing and in drunkenness, but not in sexual immorality and doing lewdness, not in strife and envy.
Other brother, go ahead and get me that Abarym 2:11. That's you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
And then hold me Romans 8:1. Listen,
For both he who Kodash
both
and
he
those
who makes Kadash
who are Kodash
and those that are Kadash,
are all of them of one.
they all stem out of one.
Therefore he is not ashamed to Yakra them Akim.
He is not ashamed to call them Akim because we have to scroll this yet. He's not ashamed to call them Akim because of the works that they manifest. When Yahushua was in the Magdash, they told him, they said, your aim and your Ak, your Akim, they outside, they desire to see you. Remember what he told them? My mother, and my brother are these, them that hear the debar of my Abba, and they do it. So we're going to become the Akim of Yahushua and the Benim of Elohim. We're going to have to maintain the two works and be just like him. We're going to have to be Kadash, just like he was Kadash. We're going to have to take on the works of the first ots, that tube ots. We got to make sure that the pari that comes out of us is tube. Because if not, you're going to be condemned. You're going to be cast out the gun. Come on, get me Romans 8:1.
Yes, sir.
Listen,
There is then now no condemnation
no condemnation
for those in which they are in the Mashiach Yahushua, who do not halak after the Basar, but according to the Ruach. For the Torah of the Ruach of Kai, which in the Mashiach Yahushua has released me to free from the Torah of Kata and of Mu.
when Yahuwah told them, he said, don't eat of these things, that became a law for them. These things were life-giving. It's life for you not to eat of the ots of Tub and Russia, and it's moot for you to eat of it. But guess what happened? They went ahead and ate of it. But read me back at verse 1.
There is then now no condemnation for those in which they are in the Mashiach Yahushua, who do not halak after the Basar, but according to the Ruach.
So when we go and we deviate from what Elohim called us to do, and we become like Adam, we put on those, we try to put on those leaves and things to try to hide us. That's not going to get us Kai. That's going to lead us to destruction. Or when we put on the Mashiach, when we get inside the Mashiach and put him on, that's how we're going to be safe. That's how we're going to be hidden when it comes time for Mashpat. And those get condemned, they're not in the Mashiach. But those who are in the Mashiach, there's no condemnation in them.
That's right.
Pick me back up at, I got you holding Abarym chapter 4. What's the last verse? Matter of fact, you start me at the verse before last. Yeah, 15, we can start. Matter of fact, go to 14, and we'll wrap it up. Listen,
And now that we have a very exalted Rosh Kahan,
now we got our big brother,
who has passed through the Shamayim,
our big brother that was able to manifest the two works and pass through to the Shamayim,
Yahushua, the Ben of Elohim, let us
the Ben of Elohim.
let us hold in the confession of our Amunah.
Let us make sure that we hold to it. We don't deviate from that course that he set, but let us hold fast to the confession of our Amunah.
For we do not have a Rosh Kahan who is not able to sympathize with our weaknesses.
He can sympathize with it because they just told us up ahead that he was tested just like you get tested, just like we all get tested. I can sympathize with it, but I know what we've been told to do. I can sympathize with the desires that you have that are opposite of what the Abba done called us to do, but that ain't what we're supposed to do. Come on.
But one who was tried in all respects, as we are, yet without kata.
Just because I understand how you get to the point that you are, it don't give you no excuse. Because he didn't do it. So how we do it? We can't do it. We got to be tamim, just like he was.
Right.
Because he entered into that rest. Come on.
Therefore, let us draw near with confidence
Let us draw near with confidence
in the presence of the throne of the Kassid to receive rakam and to find Khan.
Hold right there, Chris. Let us draw near with what?
With confidence
With what?
in the presence of the throne of Kassid.
My mic might not be on. Let us draw near with what?
With confidence.
With confidence. You remember what it was that Adam and Ka'ua were when they first were naked? They weren't ashamed. In Ra Shyth chapter 2, it shows you that. Matter of fact, pick me back up the last verse of Ra Shyth chapter 2.
Yes, sir. And Adam and his Ashar were both naked and were not ashamed.
They weren't ashamed because they had no kata. There's no reason for me to be hiding from you if I'm not with kata. If I'm tamim, there's no reason for me to be hiding. I got confidence when you come to me. When Yahuwah came to them, they ran, they fled, they tried to hide because they were ashamed because of what they had done. But you don't believe what happened with what we can do if we be covered with Yahushua. Come on, take me back over to Abarym. Therefore, let us do what?
Draw near with confidence.
What? With confidence. We can be naked and we don't have to be ashamed. When he looks at us and he judges us by our works, we don't have to be ashamed because our works are too. Come on.
In the presence of the throne of the Kassid to receive rakam.
In the presence of the throne. So when we get to that Malkuth, when we get to that place of rest, we can have a confidence. Come on.
To receive rakam.
Receive Raham.
And to find Kassid in the time to help.
That time of help is going to be when he come to get us up. When it's time for us to comb and it's time for us to rock, you can't do it by yourself. You're going to need the Abba to help you. That's good.
Yeah.